Open Sesame. All right, boy, chosen man. Like, subscribe, join the reaction. The most honest anime reviewer, reactioner out, and the funniest reactioner out. But let's talk about it. One Piece live action. I'm not gonna lie to y'all. It was better than I thought. I ain't even gonna cap. Way better than I thought it would be. I cannot take that away. But this is a hot take. With that being said, what I think ruined One Piece live action, why I couldn't reach its apex, what ruined One Piece live action was the fact that Oda was so involved. Y'all gonna be like, what? What do you mean by that? The style of the live action was still in an anime style. So it was still catered to the anime flow. And it hit the scenes pretty much the same way the anime did. But it wasn't transitioned to a movie style. So it didn't flow. So a lot of the scenes with Luffy supposed to be charismatic weren't charismatic. He's supposed to be cool, wasn't cool. It was cringe. It was weird. And not weird in a good way. It's the same way. And it reminded me more of a play of One Piece rather than a movie / live action TV show. And he didn't change the style, but they were so locked in on getting the scenes right. If you're a One Piece fan, you're like, oh, this is cool to watch. This is cool to see our live characters be shown in the real life, and it was cool like that. I know Flames was like, huh, what's going on? What do you mean? So for me, bro, like a lot of stuff emotional wise didn't hit. And to me, that's because it wasn't transitioned into a movie style. The best example I could say is like Batman. Let's go Dark Knight, because that's what we have to compare it to. We have to compare it because One Piece is huge. There's a certain style of storytelling that you have to transition to because it can't be written like comic books. Even when Bane broke Batman's back in the Dark Knight trilogy, the third one, it wasn't the same flow as the comic book. So the dialogue has to change a little bit. You have to change it because a lot of the things that Luffy, the actor, did, he portrayed Luffy just like the comic books to be. However, his dialogue, the scenes that we loved from Luffy, wasn't cool anymore. It wasn't charismatic. It wasn't inspiring. It a lot of times looked cringe, looked corny. And when I say the flow of the show, Kobe. Like his relationship with Kobe in the show looks way more inspiring, looks way more closer. You watch it live action wise, you're like, yo, why are you so close to Luffy? Like, bro, it's not that deep. See, I like that you say that. So Flames just says, I think that's just because of the acting itself rather than the directing, because characters like Buggy killed it, in my opinion. Oh, Buggy was cold. Zoro's the best character of the show to me. Buggy killed it. But that's where I disagree, bro, because you say acting, it's not acting. That dude played Luffy. That's how Luffy is. Luffy is this goofy, cheesy. It was the dialogue. And I was like, that's the dialogue of One Piece. Even when he first gets on the ship and he's dodging the girl pirate stuff. That looks cool in One Piece. In the anime. It doesn't look cool live action. It looks, wow, that's all right. Oh, that's weird. Oh, I guess it flows. Oh, that's weird. Oh, I guess it flows. But because it's still in an anime format, it we as anime fans, we're gonna like it. But if you're just watching it as like a live action movie, TV show, and that's what we're comparing this to. Did it flow as well as Harry Potter? No. Does it flow as well as the Batman trilogy? No. I would take not Dark Knight, Daredevil season 1 on Netflix over it. Take Punisher season 1 on Netflix over it. I would take even The Witcher season 1 on Netflix over it. He turned Luffy into some PG-13 character. I don't blame him for that. I completely believe it's the dialogue. Because he, to me, damn near say word for word of what Luffy says. There's no way to make that type of dialogue really cool unless you transition the flow of the show to a movie-based flow. You have to transition that energy. You have to change. It's the same way that the way actors perform plays are way different than the way actors perform TV shows and movies. There's a different flow to it. Even if it's the same scene, the same criteria. You can flow it now. You have to change it. It has to be altered. Why? Because this isn't the same anime. It's not the same. It's not an anime no more. You have to make the change. Another example is Spider-Man. Tobey Maguire, for instance. When it first came out, I'm not saying they had to do this, but this is an example. Spider-Man with Tobey Maguire, which I love my favorite Spider-Man, not gonna lie to you. They took out the comedic route of Spider-Man. Spider-Man cracks a lot of jokes. Andrew Garfield, they brought the comedy back, but he wasn't that good of a Peter Parker. With Tom Holland, there's more of a balance. They got it more right. But everything still flows, even though it's not a comic book cheesy lines that you read in the comic book. It's like, okay, it's a flow of jokes. All right, it's flowing more. It's still movie live action based. It's still TV show based. And that is what I think really ruined the show was the fact that Oda was heavily involved in it because it still represented an anime style, an anime culture, an anime flow of things happening. I mean, a lot of the times, like I said, through the anime, it makes sense why Nami, Zoro, and all of them are bonded, right? That they're so close, even in this short amount of time. It flows, but it sounds cool, right? When you're watching the show, literally, Nami says, I don't really know y'all like that. And when Luffy meets his grandfather, Garp, they literally talk about, well, who's going to talk to Luffy about his grandfather being in the Marines? We don't really know him like that. That's literally what's said as dialogue. We don't know him like that. So it's like, all right, I'll talk to him. Okay, cool, nothing? All right. And then it's like 10, 15 minutes later, they're thick as thieves. So that, but that works for anime. For a live action movie based, that sounds crazy. Like, why are you so dedicated to saving, bro? Bro, why? Like, bro, you just said you don't know, bro, like that. Like, but now he's this deep guy that you're crying over and you want to save, you want to protect, that we're super, I'll always be there for him. What? That looks crazy live action wise. But why this has this large score, it panders to One Piece fans, us. Because if you're in One Piece, you're like, oh, yeah, no, this is all makes sense. Yeah, no, this is cool. This flows greatly. This is the anime scenes that we wanted to see come to life. And we've been anime fans for decades, right? So we're like, oh, this is cool. So we appreciate everything. All the huge moments. Oh, that's the character. Oh, that's him. Oh, that's him. Wow. We're loving it. But if there's a regular person just watching the show, they're like, bro, this doesn't flow right. Yo, that's cringe. Wow, this is weird. Wow, I'm supposed to care about this guy? Wait, why are they cool? Wait, what is happening? Wait, what is this? So it's biased to us. And like I said, we have to take a step back and think of it and compare it to a Harry Potter. When Harry Potter came out, it didn't just pander to the book readers. It was a good movie series because people like me that didn't read the book, we watched it. And we're like, oh, this is cool. Iron Man 1, a lot of people didn't know about Iron Man, but you watched Marvel when they dropped Iron Man 1, you're like, oh, that's a flow of a movie. That is cool. There has to be an adjustment. And that adjustment wasn't made, and I think it was because Oda was so heavily involved that it was stayed in this anime form. Flames, what another note for you? Another thing that I will say, uh, she's one of the most cringiest scenes. Oh my god. Was the most ridiculous scene for me personally was Luffy putting the hat over Nami. That was cringe. That was cringe. It wasn't cool at all. I was like, this looks terrible. I was like, oh my gosh, wow, he really said that. That was pretty much damn near the same scene on anime, but it doesn't work because it's live action. And for the old heads like me that are older, let's talk to people. I'm like, oh yeah, it doesn't have to be cool. Yes, this is anime is also to introduce to new people. Would y'all say he's as cool as Tommy from the Power Rangers in the 90s? I'll take the Power Ranger movie from the 90s in terms of flow, the way it flowed, even though it had its cheesiness, it flowed better. It flowed better. Tommy was cool. Tommy the Green Power Ranger, the White Ranger was cool as hell in the movie. He was cool in the TV show. I can watch that as an adult and still be like, yo, Tommy's still cool, bro. Like he still just looks cool. Even if they have the action scenes, they have the little this and the cheesy lines that it's supposed to portray for like manhood and all that goody two shoe stuff. It was still cool. Nami's acting was A1. To me, honestly, everyone's act like I loved Nami. The best character to me was Zoro. But we already knew Zoro would be cool. That's what I mentioned in my last video. I said Zoro being a samurai, it's easy to make that live action. He's gonna look cool. He has swords. Zoro's gonna be cool. Great actor that they picked for him. It looks amazing. Zoro stole the show to me. Bugsy stole the show too. He was great. I wouldn't mind seeing him as a Joker. Very curious about it. Zoro was fire. Oh, you didn't like Zoro? I actually love Zoro. I really love Zoro. Zoro looks so cool to me. I liked Sanji. And that's what I'm talking about editing. They edited Sanji. Sanji was so much more calm in the live action than he is in anime. And I was like, why didn't y'all make that realistic adjustment with Luffy? Y'all needed to make the adjustment with Luffy, and they adjusted Sanji. Dude had Zoro acting like he's too cool for school. That's fair. He is more grounded, but I liked it. I'm not gonna lie, I liked it. But that's a fair point. Dude had him acting like they did kind of make him over the top cheesy. They did kind of make him a little too cool. They added a little too much. I will say they added too cool rather than being serious. Okay, I get what you're saying. Made him too cool rather than him just being serious and him being serious come off as cool. Right? It was like he had to be the cool guy. Okay, like that's actually a great point, Fletcher. When you say it like that, I'm not gonna lie, I get what you're saying, and that's actually a great point. I don't really have a rebuttal for that. I actually agree. I still enjoyed it, but I definitely get what you're saying because he's naturally cool because he's serious. That's just who he is. Where it felt like he may have been trying at moments, and it's like he doesn't have to try like that. Like Zoro's already cool, right? But I did like I thought them transitioning Sanji to make him realistic. That was the thing that I was big, and I was like, oh wow, you know. That's a good point about Zoro. Another thing, like I said, about the it still being anime form. A lot of the flashbacks didn't hit because it was still in anime form. Like stuff was happening. It was like, bro, you have to dialogue this a little bit different. It has to flow differently, bro. Zoro sword fights were fire. Zoro sword fights were fire. Those were the bright parts. I love Zoro's sword fights. I love the CGI of Luffy's, fight scenes. Like I said, y'all, I'm not gonna take that away. Sanji's backstory was good to me. Zoro's didn't really hit the same. Zoro's didn't hit the same. Sanji's backstory hit. There was somebody else. I feel like there's a flashback about something else that I didn't really enjoy that much, and I was like, it's whatever. Nah, Nami's was alright. It was before that. It was like scenes when they were like fighting. I don't know why. Y'all, I could be drawing a blank right now. One thing I will say I didn't like was Luffy's flashbacks though too. Luffy's flashbacks, Shanks' iconic bar fight scene should have been way better. That scene is so cool. Like the dude barely does anything to Shanks. Like Shanks is supposed to get like alcohol poured on him and like thrown around, and he wasn't at all. And that is why I say the story wasn't transitioned well into movie version. And that was when I was like, they should keep that one to the anime scene. But with Luffy getting mad, it made their relationship just like this random kid that Shanks met for a day. Gave his arm for, and it was like, oh yeah, no, he's like it was like, oh yeah, no, Shanks is just a good guy, this random dude, and it was like, what, like that's all that happened, and then boom, you lost your arm, and the kid is bad, and this random kid that you know is bad, and where it didn't feel like a community like it does on anime, like anime, it felt like a community, like yo, Luffy knew Shanks, And then she felt like, yeah, I met him for a day. He came to save me. Yeah. like my nigga, what? Like that's what I didn't like. I wasn't a huge fan of Shanks. Shanks was probably the biggest letdown to me. I did like the look about every character. Buggy was fire. Love the actor for Buggy. I'm not gonna lie, I loved him. I think he did a great job. Uh, I loved a lot of the actors. I'm not gonna lie, I love the look. Kobe being a girl or trans male, I didn't really care about. I don't really care about that much. Um, I loved it. I'm not gonna lie, I loved the fishmen looked terrible. The fishmen the fishmen looked terrible. Like they looked bad. The niggas look like Power Rangers. They look like Power Ranger villains. Okay, and I know I gave praise to Power Rangers in the '90s, but the '90s movie that's in the '90s. Okay, and I think uh, Doctor Slug looked better than those villains, right? Bro, Arlong looked terrible. I know they tried to pay a lot of homage to his teeth and stuff, but it just wasn't it. Um, like at all. Okay, it wasn't it at all. Arlong was terrible. Arlong was bad. The Arlong fight was so terrible to me. I didn't like the Arlong fight at all. And that's where I keep saying, like, it wasn't. It's like they try to be that one in the middle with the realisticness, but Luffy's dialogue sticking to an anime dialogue made him look so goofy and cheesy, and his punches they weren't cool at all. Gum gum, my friends. It looked corny, bro. It looked corny. It looked corny, bro. It looked cheesy. It didn't look cool. It looked weird. It didn't look inspiring. It didn't. It wasn't charismatic. It looked like a little kid throwing a temper tantrum against a grown. I think he's black. It sounded like a black shark. And it was like, yo, Luffy doesn't look cool at all. And then he even had like little like split fight scenes where he would like dodge hella stuff and look cool, and then it would just go back to him just trying to punch, and it just would look terrible. And his fight scenes, Luffy's fight scenes for the most part didn't look cool. It wasn't because the CGI was bad. It was just the way he fought didn't translate to coolness. And I know Oda's overall goal with One Piece was to have he wanted a goofy show of flow and charisma for the show. That's why Gear 5 isn't super serious. It's paying homage to the Looney Tunes. We understand that. However, you gotta look cool, bro. Live action, it gotta look cool. He has to have those serious, charismatic moments. And they're not serious or charismatic because it doesn't translate to live action. It may translate to serious moments on the anime. Like I said, when he puts the hat over Nami, super cool. Don't mess with my friends. Yo, my willpower. It is what it is. That's always been cool with Luffy. That's not cool in live action. It looks dumb because you stayed in the anime form and flow. Like I said, they transitioned Sanji in a more realistic way, in a more realistic version. They could have did that with Luffy. Sanji wasn't this super boobs, where's the girl, Nami kissing her feet. No, that's not what bro was doing. Bro just said like one line, the spit game. You know what I'm saying? Like he looked like a normal dude to make him more realistic. They took that anime part out of it. They could have did the same with Luffy. And another thing, why I stick about the anime style, the the axe dude's son that gets best friends with Kobe. Meeting him off rip when you're introduced to Zoro, which Flames was talking about, like Zoro's was like too cool for school. Him being this weird, like dick of a person just felt so forced. If you're watching his live action, you're like, bro, what is going on? Like, why is he such a? He's just a dick for like that's it. There's no build up to him being a dick. He's just this. All right, cool. I was like weird. Oh, he's this. He's according to. Oh, okay, cool. He's just weird and mean. Got it. They're still going off an anime style, but it doesn't look right. It doesn't flow right because it feels just weird. Why is he like this? Why is he so mean? It's not even like a more logical flow of him being a dick. He just was automatically a dick. Not even like, yeah, hey, babe. Yeah, that'll be $100 because you spilled that on me. Like help clean it up for her, and then be like, yeah, that'll be $100. Yeah. You spilled that on me. I need to like that could have been a different type of dialogue, but now he just looks like this weird, goofy dick, and it doesn't flow. It doesn't have a movie style. It doesn't have a TV show style. It's still in the anime style, guys, and that's one of my biggest takes. Flames. What else did you not enjoy? Um, I enjoyed Usopp. I enjoyed Sanji. I personally enjoyed Zoro. I thought Nami did a very good job. I did like Buggy. I thought Buggy was better on the live action damn near than the anime. Like, yo, that's how I really much liked it and enjoyed it. One of the biggest things I'll say, Buggy was more like Joker. That's what he reminded me of. He reminded me more of like Joker. I was impressed with the diversity in live action. Yeah, and it didn't feel forced. The diversity of live action, a lot of times it feels like there's a movement or a push behind everything. It was just cool. Uh, Buggy was more like a Joker. I did it. I did like that. Buggy was more like a Joker. I guess the last thing to talk about, like I said, the hey man, appreciate the tier one sub, Dongalino. Um, the actors, other than Luffy, did to me a very good job. Um, Usopp, Zoro, Sanji, Nami. The last thing I will say, the fight scenes were good, other than Luffy's, because of the way Luffy was presented on the movie. Was Garp. Garp was the person I I wasn't a huge fan of Garp. I thought Shanks and Garp were one of the biggest fumbles. Shanks just wasn't as cool, right? Shanks just wasn't cool to me, and I was like, wow, Shanks is like the coolest character damn near in the show. Garp though, Garp, I was devastated with Garp. I'm not gonna lie. I did like Mihawk. Mihawk's looks better than the trailer. Like the trailer doesn't do Mihawk just like the look of Mihawk. Like that looks cheesy, but Mihawk they aced it. I wasn't a fan of Garp though. I thought they made this is what always blew my mind. They made Garp more realistic of a movie TV show by having it be more about like, yo, I just want my son, I want my grandson to be on the right path, and I'm also it felt almost like a cycle, like I'm just deranged to just I just gotta get Luffy, I gotta get Luffy, I gotta get Luffy, rather than a like goofy grandpa that's loving and wise and like always really knows what's happening, but acts like he doesn't. And he's not really bothered by a lot unless it's about Luffy. And then when he sees Luffy, he's like, Luffy! And then punches him. You know, like that was the style that I real more liked about Garp. And that's what made Garp look cool. To me, this one made Garp more realistic and but more like a psycho realistic. Like he's more like, I just gotta get my grandson. I gotta get my grandson. Like I'm obsessed. I'm gonna send Mihawk after him. And I was like what's where in reality, like that's not what happened, right? Like Mihawk literally just runs into Luffy randomly, like he's not sent by Garp. So that was something that I was like, I wasn't a fan of just because I'm a huge fan of Garp. Oh yeah, they completely skipped over the Don King and made Luffy fight Arlong twice. Yeah, and they completely made Don Galino says Luffy has room for improvement, and they completely made Garp another character. Yeah, I wasn't a fan of that because I love Garp, so I didn't like that at all. That was something I didn't like, but that's one of the changes. I was like, if you're gonna make him more realistic, make edit Luffy too. You know what I'm saying? Like y'all like edit Luffy too. Like you can edit Luffy to be more realistic too. If you gonna make Garp make Luffy more realistic too. Like it's cool. Like it's okay. You know what I'm saying? Like it's okay. And I didn't get that. I didn't get that. They did skip over the Don Craig fight. I wasn't that upset. I saw a lot of the anime community of One Piece upset with that. I wasn't too mad about it. I was like, oh, well, we get to see how strong um Don Krieg, Mihawk is, in 4K. That was a good way to present. They presented that very well. Like I said, the CGI was better than I thought it would be. I'm not even gonna lie to you. And the dude coming in for food, which is supposed to be somebody that Zoro knew. I thought that's who that guy was, and thought he was gonna meet Zoro. I'm like, oh yeah, I remember you. That didn't happen. I wasn't like I said, I wasn't that bothered by it as a lot of the fans, I saw a lot of One Piece fans were bothered by the fight not being showed. Wasn't too upset with it. Honestly, guys, not gonna lie. But one thing I didn't enjoy was the airtime of Kobe. Yeah, not gonna lie, wasn't a huge fan of Kobe. Like I was so confused, like why Kobe got so much airtime, and that was the storyline that they were going with. I didn't care for Kobe like that at all, and I wasn't a fan of Garp like that. So because of the new character of Garp, so I wasn't a huge fan of Kobe, and I was it. It just seemed to me like, yo, Kobe, why are you so obsessed? And another reason why I didn't like that is it made Garp look not as strong or competent as he is because Kobe would just eavesdrop. And I would be like, are we just going to, like, Garp can't notice Kobe eavesdropping? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, why are we acting like he can't see him eavesdropping? Like, I wasn't a huge fan. And, like, what are we talking about? Like, I actually was sitting there and I was like, bro, why does he keep eavesdropping? Like Garp is literally, if we're being honest, at this point, this is around the time that Garp literally basically, well, spoiler alert, down the road, he threatens Akuno. We all know why he threatens Akuno. So I'm like, why are we acting like he's not who he is to pick up on Kobe eavesdropping on him? What? Like, what's going on, man? Talk to me, man. So that's what I really didn't like. So Garp was a person that I really wished was done better, but I'm a fan of Garp, so I'm biased. Wasn't a huge fan of Kobe. Kobe just felt weird, and like I said, it wasn't in a movie flow. So it was like, yo, Kobe, why do you feel so attached to Luffy? It doesn't make sense. If you watch the anime though, you appreciate it. You're like, oh, I get it. They're cool. They're Phil friends. He saved him. Got it. You watch it regularly, you're like, you shouldn't be that attached to him, bro. You're weird. It's not that deep, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, back up off me, bro. And yeah, Flames or Don Galio. Any other points before we wrap up the review? Get vent what y'all got going on out there, and you guys are gonna be everyone's gonna be mad at me for this, but I try to give real appreciation. Me personally, as a One Piece fan, I give this a 7 out of 10. I'm not gonna lie to you guys because it's way better than I ever thought it would be. But that 7 out of 10 is on a scale of I'm comparing you to Pirates of the Caribbean. I'm comparing you to Harry Potter. I'm comparing you to Dark Knight. I'm comparing you to I think, like I said, I think Daredevil on season 1 on Netflix is better. I think Punisher on season 1 on Netflix is better. Right? I gotta compare you to Spider-Man 1, Spider-Man 2, right? Like I gotta compare you to Marvel movies. Right? Like that is who I'm comparing you to. There's millions of dollars invested in this. Don't think that I'm just critiquing just to critique. Like, no. Because if there's a casual watching this that's not a One Piece fan, and mind you, it's catered heavily to us. It's not catered to general consensus of everybody. This is catered to us because Luffy looks cheesy, corny, cringe. Things don't flow right because you're like, why do they feel so attached to each other? Like I said, how is he best friends with Kobe? It doesn't sound cool. It doesn't look cool. It's not emotional. It's not inspiring. Bro, it's weird. They tease Smoker at the end. Do you think we're gonna get a season 2? They're definitely gonna get a season 2. I've seen it's done 95% on Rotten Tomatoes, 85%, audience score. This is to me the best live action anime that I've seen. Like I said, I gave it praise. I gave it 7 out of 10. It's definitely gonna get a season 2. Um, because it catered to us so well, but I don't think it holds a candle to. I don't think it's better than any of the series I mentioned. I personally would take the Power Rangers movie in the '90s with Tommy, RIP. I forgot his real name, man. The Power Ranger Tommy. All the old heads that watched that flowed better than this. I would take Iron Man 1 better over this. Harry Potter series over this, right? What's the To Kill a Hunger Games? Take Hunger Games. Is it Killing Mockingbird? No, that's Hunger Games. There's certain things that other movies did well, and when I say that, I'm gonna explain it one more time. There's a different way of acting and performing when you do a play than when you do a movie, TV show. There's a different way. There's things that you change. There's certain cues that are changed now. And that's what didn't get changed. And I think Oda being a part of it so much actually held back One Piece. Because Luffy was not changed to a realistic mode to fit a movie style. Or the story wasn't fit to fit a movie style. In general, it was still an anime flow. And we as anime fans will appreciate it. But the casuals like, bro, this is weird. I think Witcher Season 1 was better. How far do you think they'll go to move forward? Because there's no way they're going past the time skip. How far do you think they'll go? I don't really know. Because they got to go to Alabasta, right? They got to go to Reef Smoker. They got to meet, Ace. How cool is Ace gonna be? I don't know because like I said, it's been heavily appreciated, but for me personally, I didn't enjoy it. I don't know how far you can really go with this. And like I said, I didn't enjoy it because of Luffy. Everything else was appreciative. It was cool to watch, but Luffy being so cringe made it hard. Like imagine Skypiea. Oh no, Skypiea is crazy. No, they can't do all that CGI. That CGI is crazy, and it's not as good as like I said. It's not as good as Pirates of the Caribbean. So I just think they can't go too far, man. I don't know, man. It was very appreciated, but I really would. They have to change the style to me because Luffy has to be cool, and Luffy was my number one worry. Luffy was my number one worry. Going back to my video, Luffy was my number one. I said, how is he going to be charismatic? He's goofy as hell. It works for anime style. The stuff he said exactly the dialogue in anime. It doesn't hit the same. You know why? Because it's not cool. It's not cool if you just say that. It's not. Zoro not talking, you can still get away with that being cool. But Zoro not talking as much as he does and then just, I'm rocking with Luffy. That looks crazy. That sounds wild. This nigga is down for Luffy now. What? Bro, what? That's it? You don't even talk. Yeah, man, I'm following him now. What? What? But I don't know how far they're gonna go. They're definitely doing Albasta, and I'm curious to see his dad. But there's a lot of promise and a lot of good things. The biggest failure to me was Luffy, and I don't blame the actor. I think his acting skills is actually good. He did what the criteria wanted him to do. He played Luffy, real life. Luffy just wasn't adjusted to a movie TV show style, and he needed to be. My last examples: Deadpool. Deadpool cracks hella jokes. It's rated R though, but he cracks hella jokes. But it's a movie style. Same way they transitioned that style to movie. Did very well. Spider Man, they did it very well. With Tom Holland cracking jokes, did it very well. You have to ease it. You have to change, or go Spider Man 1. We'll take the jokes away. There it is. Yep. Flames just said overall, I think they did a solid job. I do agree with you overall. But you're right. They made it for anime fan, and as that fan, hey man, I'm rocking with it. Exactly. We're gonna rock with it. If we tell somebody else, yo, this is better than we're like, yo, this is better than Pirates of the Caribbean. No, it's not. Oh, bro, you should watch this, bro. It's as good as Harry Potter. No, it's not. Oh, it's as good as Daredevil season 1. No, it's not. On Netflix. Oh, it's as good as Punisher season. No, it's not. No, it's not. It doesn't flow right. It's like, nigga, why are y'all so close? Literally, you're sitting there, you're like, bro, why are y'all close? Why are y'all cool? But we're over there like, oh yeah, no, this is cool. The characters, oh my gosh. Yo, why are y'all? This is dumb. Yo, his cheesy ass lines. I'm telling you, that scene where he put the hat over Dobby, I was like, bro, that's just weak, bro. That was one of the coolest, most iconic scenes in One Piece. That shit is weak. That shit is terrible. What is this, bro? But I was so hurt. I was like, I can't even watch. But yeah, those are my concerns. I'd say 7 out of 10. 7 out of 10. Like I said, the 8 and 9 is served for. I'm putting it against the highest caliber. Personally, I think good acting can overcome the oldest cheesy lines. That's a fair opinion. That I think he acted like Luffy, bro. And Luffy's a kid. Luffy's a kid. Luffy's not a grown man. I think you have to change the way he acts. You have to change it. I think you have to change his dialogue. His dialogue has to be changed. Because you did it with Garp, you did it with Sanji. Why can't you do it with Luffy? Luffy's the main character. Why not do it with him? Him just saying Pirate King. Yeah. Think what? Bro, shut your goofy ass. No one hurts my friends. That's what he says. No one hurts my friends. Like, no one's gonna hurt my nigga. Like, bro, like that shit is not cool, my nigga. That shit is not cool. Other than the anime. That's what the nigga said. That's what Luffy says for real. Like, he didn't make that up. And I'm like, bro, he can't be cool like that. And if you want people that don't like One Piece to watch, make him cool. And you have to make it a movie version, not an anime version. Because, last reiteration, Sanji is not the same anime character. They made that nigga realistic. Garp is not the same goofy funny guy. Wise. Which I didn't like, but it's true. Like, there's a way to make Luffy different, but you have to change his dialogue and not just take it directly from the anime. And that's what I believe Oda being involved ruined. It was like, yo, the producer has to be like, yeah, no, we have to watch like this. Hugh Jackman, who does plays, does not act the same as and perform the same as he does in plays as he does his movie roles. But, y'all, that's my overall, season 1 review. I gave it a 7 out of 10. The best live action anime that I've ever seen. Very good. They did care a lot. Didn't really care about Kobe being trans male. I just thought they showed Kobe a little too much, and I was like, bro, I don't really care about him, and he's not that big of a storyline. But I see that they went that route with Garp, and it was whatever. The Don Craig fight not being shown, I wasn't too upset. I thought Mihawk was fire, and they did a great way of showing Mihawk, and the CGI was better than I thought. I just think they messed up with Arlong's costumes. Like, I thought that should have been. Nigga should have been looking like Pirates of the Caribbean. But yeah, man, overall 7 out of 10. Flameser said it's pretty solid. He's down to keep watching it. So put down in the comments, guys. How do you guys feel about my points? What do y'all think went wrong, went right? Is it, and do you guys believe it's catered to us? I really do believe it's catered to us 100%. And it's gonna get the funds, but if I'm compared it to those top tier shows and movies to get casuals to watch, no, it's not as good. And Dark Knight is, like, to me, one of the greatest superhero movies of all time. So, and that trilogy is, like, iconic. Spider-Man 1 and 2 is iconic. So, but that's the level that we're putting it against. So that's why I'm not giving it 8, 9, and 10. And Harry Potter, right? Harry Potter is what it is. So that's why I can't give it 8, 9, and 10, guys. But yeah, man, it's what chosen the most honest dude out here, man. Y'all know I'm gonna give it up fair. My guy Flames came in here today, and we went in. And like I said, he had a great point with Zoro. I didn't think about that, but I was like, Zoro is like, it's like cheesy cool instead of him just being serious and being naturally cool. So that was a great point. We love the fight scenes, but like he said, Luffy was not hitting. He thinks it's the acting. I think it's the style. But I'm curious. I'll watch season 2 because I like giving reviews. But let me know, man. How do y'all feel? It's your boy Chosen, man. Like and subscribe. I'm out. Oh man.